It is 3 wins in the past 3 days for the VIP group. VIP special has been winning for the past 3 days, and it's actually wonderful and a very good one for them. I want to say congratulations to those of us in the VIP special. All right, and today we have our games once again, and I will also urge you to try to join the VIP group. Click the join button, and you find yourself in the VIP group. All right, and we look at the games that we have here today, and we have some of these games that are going on today. And we start with the first match, which is in the women under 19 European Championship, where we have Netherlands will be up against Spanish women under 19. All right, when you look at the stats for each of these sides, you see that Netherlands, the home side, it is 3 victories and a draw in the last 6 matches. They also had 2 losses as well. And away side, Spanish under 19 have won 5 games out of the last 6. They also had 1 draw. They've not lost any single match in the last 6 games that they had. At times, when you look at how the two teams fared from home and away perspective, you could say that, in recent times, for both sides, you could see the last, 3 home games for the home side. Netherlands have seen them winning 2 out of those 3 and having 1 draw. And away side, the Spanish under 19 winning the last 3 games that they had. We saw them beating the likes of Czech Republic like 10 goals to nil. And the last away game was actually against Portugal, and they won by 2 goals to nil on that occasion. And here, the last meeting between 2 sides was actually in February of this very year, and it was Spanish side under 19 women who actually won on that very occasion by winning by 3 goals to 2 on that very occasion. So we expect to see the away side, Spanish under 21, taking the day in this one, winning in this very championship tie. So away side to win outrightly, that's all valid for that very encounter. And the next that we have is in the UEFA under 21 championship for men. Where we'll have Denmark under 21 who will be coming up against Finland under 21. Right, for Denmark under 21, we could see that how they fared in recent times. The last games that they had in this very tournament, saw them winning the last 2 games that they had against Ukraine and and also against Netherlands. We saw them beating the Netherlands by 2 goals to 1, as well as Ukraine beating Ukraine by 3 goals to 2. So they won 2 games out of the 3 games. This is the 3rd game of the group, and we expect them to not lose. We expect them to consolidate in topping that very group. So we expect the home side, Denmark, to either win or draw and under 4.5 in this very one. Also noting the fact that the last meeting between 2 sides was actually 5 years ago. It was a 2-1 victory for the Danish under 21 on that occasion. So the home side to either win or draw, but we're going to see not more than 4 goals here. Okay, that's all valid for that very one. All right, and that takes us to the next for the day. It is a club match where we have a club match in Norway, where we have Stabæk who will be coming up against Egersund. All right, for Stabæk, it is 2 victories and 3 draws, as well as 1 loss in the last 6 matches. And we said Egersund, a draw, but have lost 5 matches out of the last 6 games that I've had so far. Right, and looking at home and away perspective, you can see that Stabæk have had 4 victories and 3 draws in the last 13 home matches. They've also lost 3 matches. And away side, Egersund have won 5 games. They've also had 3 draws, but have also lost 2 matches. All right, but when you look at Stabæk, the last 4 home games that they had produced over 2.5, and away side also in the last 10 away games have seen over 2.5 5 times out of 10. And the last meeting between the 2 sides saw over 2.5. Egersund won on that occasion, but prior to that, we saw a 4-5 scoreline between these 2 sides. So it seems that this very meeting produced lots of goals. So we are going for goals here. We expect to see a minimum of 3 goals in this very one. It is over 2.5. That's so valid for that very encounter. Okay, and the next game we have for you today, also in Norway Division 1, where we have Odd BK who will be up against Mjøndalen. All right, for Odd BK, we could see in recent times they've actually had the last 6 matches I've seen them winning 3 matches and 2 draws. They've also had 1 loss out of the last 6 games that they had so far. And the away side, Mjøndalen have won just 1 match, and they also had 1 draw, but have lost 4 games in the last 6 recent encounters. All right, looking at how the 2 teams fared from home and away perspective, you can see Odds BK have actually been able to do very well here, winning 6 games and 2 draws in the last 10 home matches, losing 2 games as well. And the away side, Mjøndalen, on the other hand, have been able to achieve 5 victories and a draw, but have lost 4 matches out of the last 10 away games that they had so far on a head-to-head basis. The last time both teams met was actually in February. We saw Odds BK winning from home on that occasion by 3 goals to 2 against this very side. And we also saw, prior to that, we saw Odds also beating this very side. So all the time Odds have played from home in the last 10 meetings between the two sides. They have not really lost against this very Mjøndalen side. So we do expect to see the home side taking the day here. Odds BK to win out shortly. That's what we suspect for this very one. That's our verdict as well. And that takes us to the last for today. It is in Luton here, first division, where we have Šiauliai II coming up against us, Transinvest Vilnius. All right. Pardon me about the names there. It's actually much more difficult names to pronounce rather. So we see in the recent game for Šiauliai, the home side, it is 2 victories and a draw, as well as 3 losses in the last 6 matches that they had. In the away side, Transinvest, okay, having won 5 matches out of the last 6 games, and also they had 1 loss. A very good side. They've been doing so very well. They're actually topping the log at the moment. And we'll look at the scoreline. The results for the last home games and away games for both sides. You see that for the home side, they've managed to achieve just 3 victories and 2 draws in the last 10 home matches. They've as well lost 5 games out of the last 10 home games. And away side, Transinvest have managed to achieve 8 victories from the last 10 away games. They've been doing so very well. The last away game they had saw them winning that match by 5-0 from away Transinvest. The way side, they've been doing so very well. And winning 80% of the last 10 away games that they had so far. That tells you a lot about this very side. They're a very, very good side. And on head-to-head meetings, it was the last time meeting between the two sides. So Transinvest beating this very side from home by 10-0. 10-0. That's a huge score line. And also, prior to that, we saw them from away beating Šiauliai by 3-0 the last time they met. And in this one, we're going definitely with the away side, Transinvest Vilnius, the away side winning out shortly here. I will to win out shortly. That's what we expect for that very game. All right, and that concludes it for us today on Betcraft. We wish you the very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. Remember to play responsibly, as these are football games. Sometimes it may not be exactly, it may not sometimes may not really give you exactly what it presents. All right, that's football for you. There are some level of surprises. Some things can happen. It could be red card, some tactical mistake and all that. It does happen in football. All right, we always give room for that. So play with what you can afford to lose. That's what I'm trying to advise here. So remember to join our VIP special group where we have games that have been that I actually selected myself, and I always believe that these games are closer to 100% of coming out as certain. So it has been winning for the past 3 days. Why not join the train and see how it goes? All right. Tomorrow is another day. We'll be back with our predictions on this very channel. Do not miss out. But until then, keep winning.